The next tool that we're going to talk about with Excel are scenarios. Scenarios are a little bit more complex. This tool allows you to link together multiple variable cells that contain one or more formulas. You can also create reports based on the scenarios and have Excel save them. So we're going to continue our example of our bakery, and we're going to expand the items that we sell. We're going to sell coffee for $1.25 and mochas for $2.50. We're going to use this pretend bakery to show you how to use the scenario tool. Let's return to our spreadsheet, the advanced Excel worksheet that you can download from the class Moodle's website. At the bottom, you're going to notice a couple of tabs. Make sure you have Scenario 1 selected. This is the worksheet that we'll be working from. Here you see the price per pastry, which is 80 cents. The sales total for the pastries, which is the number times the pastry price. We have the price for coffee and the sales total for coffee. We have the price per mocha and the sales total for mocha. We also have the grand total right here on cell B14, which will find the sum of all of the sales totals. And this will represent what we've sold for the day. So what we want to do is we want to run a scenario to figure out what's the best case and the worst case that could happen for our sales day. To do that, we're going to have to open up the scenario manager. Make sure you're on the data ribbon and look for the data tools group and the what if analysis tool. Click on the what if analysis tool, select scenario manager. This will open up the scenario manager dialog box. So far there are no scenarios. We're going to have to add some. To add a scenario, click add. You will have to give your scenario a name. So I'm going to call mine best case. And then you have the changing cells box. In the changing cells box, you're going to type in the cells that contain variables. These are cells that do not have formulas. These are the cells that will change based off what you're doing with your data. So in our case with the bakery, we need to add cells B2, B6, and B10. These are the cells where the variables will change based off how many items we sell. Here in changing cells, we see B2, B6, and B10. Once you've added your changing cells, click OK. You will see a pop-up appear called Scenario Values. We're going to pretend that we've sold 100 pastries, 150 coffee, and 75 mocha. Once you add your values, click OK. You return to the scenario manager and you'll see your scenario best case displayed here. If you want to see this scenario, click Show, and it will input the data that you selected. So there we see 100 pastries, 150 coffee, and 75 mocha. The grand total in this pretend scenario is $455. So that's it. That's how you add a scenario. Let's go ahead and add a worst case as well. And I'm going to call this worst case. We're going to keep the same changing cells. Click OK. Again, a pop-up will appear. And we're going to change these values. In the worst case, let's say we sell only 50 pastries. And we're going to say we sold only 25 coffee and only 15 mochas. Oops, let me take off that 75. And we're going to click OK. So now we see the best case and the worst case. Again, I can click Show for the worst case to review the worst case scenario. I'm going to close the Scenario Manager. Now let's pretend that we've gone through the sales day, and in reality we sold 80 pastries, we sold 90 coffee, and we sold 75 mocha. So let's pretend that this is the actual value at the end of the day. We can actually look at this new value and compare it to our scenario data and produce a report for us, which is easier to read. So from the data ribbon and the data tools group, we're going to go to the what if again, choose Scenario Manager. Our best case and our worst case scenarios are still available, and they will be available until we delete them. If you want to delete a scenario, select it and click delete. But right now what we want to do is we want to run a summary report. So we're going to click Summary. Choose the report type. In this case we just want a scenario summary. And the result cell, which is our grand total cell, is B14. Once you click OK, Excel will create a brand new tab and a brand new worksheet to show the scenario report. Click OK. We are on a new spreadsheet. At the bottom you can see a tab called Scenario Summary. Here we see our scenario summary report. Here's the best case summary and the worst case. And the current values we changed to reflect the actual cells. So now we can compare the current values to what the best case could have been and what the worst case could have been. At any time you can edit your table. So if you click into a field, you can change it. We can change this to show pastries, coffee, and mocha. And that's it. Here we have our scenario summary with our actual and our scenario input data.